Okay, so let's talk about rolling money over from an IRA or a 401k or something in that nature over into an annuity. So what I would do is first ask the client what they like best about it, what they dislike about it, what they would change inside of it if they possibly could, and just kind of get some feedback on where they're currently at, what they're currently doing. So what I would do is I would then talk to them about what they currently have, and I would compare that to an annuity. So Mr. and Mrs. Client, you currently have a 401k, which is invested inside of mutual funds. And I want to compare that to a product called a variable annuity. Have you ever heard of a variable annuity? And a lot of people have, but they don't truly understand it. So I talked to them about inside of your 401k, you have a guy called a fund manager. This fund manager's job is to manage the fund the way that the structure says that it's to be managed. So you have this mutual fund, and we have your $100,000. We have your wife's $75,000. I have about $10,000, and let's say your neighbor is putting in about $500 a year. So we all have a mutual interest inside of this account. Inside of this account, you have what's called a sales charge, whether it's A, B, or C share. You have what's called a 12B1 fee. You have internal expenses that are about $25 a year. On the variable annuity side, you have a guy called a fund manager. Inside of here, we have to call these separate accounts, which work very similar to mutual funds. So it's semantics. It's kind of like asking, can you make me a Xerox copy on my Minolta copier? It's the same thing. It's very similar. It's just a different name for it. So in here, we have your $100,000. We have your wife's $75,000. We have my $10,000. We have your friend's $500 a year that he's putting into. You have a sales charge, whether it's A, B, or C share, or sometimes what they call X shares. You also have inside of here a 12B1 fee. You have internal expenses that are normally about $25 a year, and then you also have this extra one called M&E, and that ranges from 0.5% up to about 5%. So Mr. and Mrs. Client, based off of this, if this is all that you knew, and all of the tax laws and all the rules and all that stuff were all the same, which one would you choose? Well, most people would pick this side because they don't want to pay the extra fees. So I'd say, you know what, I completely agree with you. But inside of your 401k or inside of your mutual fund, if the market went up year after year after year after year, how much money could you potentially earn? And they go, well, it's kind of unlimited. I go, you know what, you're absolutely correct. It's unlimited. But if the market went down year after year after year after year, how much could you lose? They go, well, I could lose all of my money. You're absolutely correct. You could lose 100%. On the variable annuity side, however, if the market went up year after year after year after year, you have the same potential. However, if the market went down year after year after year after year, you could participate in none of that, and by contract, get between a 2% and a 5% guarantee on your money. Now, which one do you like best? Well, most people want to preserve what they have, so they would say over here on this side. So I'd say fantastic. Now, let me give you a couple of different options. We have the index and the fixed side, because those work very similar, versus the variable annuity. So over here, you have a cap, where the insurance company is going to decide how much they're going to give you, and they're going to stop it at a certain point. Over here, you have no cap. Over here, you have no fees, generally. Over here, you have the fees that we just talked about. Over here, your guarantee is based off of the principal, based off of you having that lump sum of money most of the time that you're able to take from, when you want to after the contract's over. Over here, your guarantee is based off of you having a stream of income that you'll never run out of. So based off of this, is the money that you have in this $100,000, is this for you to have a lump sum of money there that's guaranteed? Or is it for you to have a stream of income that you never run out of? And then I allow them to choose. And whatever they choose, it doesn't matter because we get to do everything. We get to help every single client. And that's how I market rolling money over from a 401k into an annuity.